Yeah, we'll start with the Anthony Richardson conversation. I know you wanted to get a little bit into it a little bit later as well when we do our upon further review segment, but he gets hurt. I believe it was, I can't remember the exact play, but it was.
Oh, he was scrambled down the middle of the field. Big explosive play. He got helicoptered a little bit. He got hit in the back of his hip, and you can see him immediately reach down and grab for that hip. And I'm a guy who's torn my hip flexor. David Montgomery hit me. I was at the second level blocking a linebacker. Montgomery put his head down, hit me right in the back of the hip. It felt like a rope snapped in my hip. And being able to lift my knee up and drive my leg, like going to run anywhere, it wasn't happening because that rope, that hip flexor is gone. To me, that's what it looked like from Anthony Richardson. Yeah. It looked like the hip flexor. And then obviously we're going to talk more about it later.
But then 2 plays, he's off. 2 successful plays with the Colts.
Yep.
Also. And he comes back in and they run quarterback counter. Not just like, hey, Anthony Richardson, like, you're back in. I know you're hurt, but make a play. It's like, no, you have to game. You have to stick your nose in to TJ Watt's coming after you, like unblocked.
With no helmet.
That was nuts. That was absolutely insane. I don't know what the approval process was to get him back in the sidelines, but there was malpractice going on there.
They don't care. Young men, young women, if you're into football, they do not care about you. They care about winning. They care about production. And when I say they, I mean from the top down, from the ownership, general manager, head coach, OC. They do not care. What have you done for me lately? And if you can't do it, we'll find somebody else to do it. Okay. And we saw that with Joe Flacco. Colts were just fine. Joe Flacco was awesome yesterday. Offensive line stepped up big for him. And you know what? I got to give a big shout out to that offensive line because when you're playing in front of Anthony Richardson, you're going to have the luxury of running the football. You're going to get to run block a lot. Not a lot of chances to lose as an O-lineman. Yeah, you miss some blocks sometimes, but it's not as glaring as, let's say, a sack, a pressure, a strip fumble. You go and you have Joe Flacco come in the game, and now we're protecting. So it's like they were completely out of their technique and their game plan for the week, and they held it together, and Joe Flacco looked awesome. But my message is nobody cares. It's what my dad used to tell me when I'd call him after a game and say, I think I got an ankle, a sprained ankle. Did you go in and tell the trainer? No. Good. Nobody cares. Nobody cares.
I'm not sure that's the best.
No. You see specialists. You see specialists. You get second opinions. You get all that stuff. They do not care if you're hurt or not. And it's obvious. If they cared, they wouldn't have put Anthony Richardson in.
No.
Does that make sense?
They do not care. You have to.
And how many locker rooms do you think that's the case?
Oh, well, pretty much every single one.
That's the NFL, bro.
It's what does the trainer say to me? Trainer says, okay, you're going to come in and run quarterback counter.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Don't forget your mouth guard. My upon further review is the Anthony Richardson, the decision for them to put him back in the game after getting injured. You hate to see a guy getting injured. And upon further review, this is going to be even more concerning than we could have ever imagined because the accuracy issues for Anthony Richardson, how do you cover that up? Let's run the football with Anthony. Now you run the football, he gets hurt. I'm thinking it's a hip flexor. And I know that if it is a hip flexor, the ability to drive that knee up, be able to extend, be able to run fast and be explosive, it goes away, dude. This was the injury that got me out of the league.
That's a hip that is crucial to throwing to that back hip.
This is an injury that can take its toll. If you don't, get this thing fixed, I'm not sure, what the diagnosis is, but if it is a hip flexor and it requires surgery, get it, do all you can do from a rehab standpoint. You're going to have to press the reset button again with Anthony Richardson. The real issue I have is you put him back in the game, and to your point, you call a design run. Anthony Richardson, who just came out of the game with an injury on an explosive run, you put him back in a few plays later, you run it again. This just goes to show, it confirms what I already believe is that these guys just do not care. Okay. They're making other football players. They're going to be in the league next year. You're just a number. You're just a dude. They don't care. That's my upon further review.
News on Anthony Richardson. Apparently not that serious.
We'll see.
Oh, here we go from the chat. If you're the Colts, how concerned are you with Richardson, and does this make you think about getting another QB in the draft? I don't think so.
No, I'll just keep Joe Flacco on the roster.
Yeah, but I am sleepwalking him back. This guy does not have to come back anytime soon. I want his body to feel like $1 million before that guy's coming back on the football field for me, because Joe Flacco can run this offense. I have no doubt about that. And with Anthony Richardson, from what I saw with that hip, like if it's going to be a recurring thing. It's, again, very crucial to your throwing motion to have that back hip fully healthy. And that's what it was. I believe his right side. So, yeah, I am slow playing back, but I'm definitely not looking to draft after this, even if the injuries at this point getting a little concerning.
No.